This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Andrew Cole, President of the East Orlando Chamber, and we're going to go ahead and start today's webinar, which I'm excited about. But without further ado, as we do for a lot of our events that we have, we want to recognize our trustee members, who happens to be Advent Health. We have Avalon Park Group, Avalon Insurance Services, Duke Energy, Fairwinds Credit Union, Great Florida Insurance of Hunters Creek, the Orlando Law Group, Orlando Health, and Suburban Land Reserve. So we really appreciate all that they do. They are really the stakeholders in our area, along with many of you, but they are here and help the Chamber with direction and guidance, and we appreciate their commitment to the community and to the commitment to the Chamber. So thank you to our trustees. And without really further ado, I want to introduce our presenter today, which is Andi Perez, and she is with Yelp. And she is going to talk about some 101s and free tips and tricks and things we can do to get you on Yelp, and some important things that Yelp does and how that can help your business. We're going to hold questions. Feel free to type them into the chat box, and I'll moderate those through at the end. We'll have a Q&A, and we can unmute you for those. But if you do come on, please keep your mics muted for this so that we can hear everybody as we come through and we don't have any bad echoes. So without further ado, Andi, I think you should be able to connect yourself here. If you can, that'd be great. If not, I'll unmute you here. And otherwise, without further ado, Andi, it's all on you, and let's start this going out and tell everybody about yourself.
Great. Hi there. Thank you guys so much for being here. As part of my role with Yelp, I love presenting to business owner groups. I will let you guys know a little bit about myself, but we'll kind of get started here. I know we've got folks from all different industries, from nonprofits to consulting, some staffing, legal, restaurants, medical, property. So hopefully what I'm able to give you guys is a broad understanding of how to best use the free business owner tools on Yelp. Everything I'm going to talk to you about in this presentation is going to be free and ready for you to access right after the presentation. So let's get started. All right, so who am I? Who's speaking to you right now? So I'm Andi. I'm Yelp's Senior Community Director here in Orlando. I've been with Yelp for just over 6 years, and have the whole time have been working here in Central Florida. My role is really to be an advocate for local businesses in the community, a resource for local businesses when it comes to anything to do with Yelp. In addition to that, I host local events and get folks connected to great local businesses. I help promote what's happening locally. And so really anything you can think of that is Yelp related that's local, you always can reach out to me about that. The one caveat there, and why I hope that you guys will trust me as your local Yelp advocate, is that I cannot talk about sales or advertising on Yelp or any of the paid features on Yelp. The reason for that is, as an organization, we make sure that you guys have someone you can come to who's never going to be selling you anything. So I'm here for you guys. I'm here to help answer any questions you may have in the future or now. And that's my direct email address, and you guys can reach out to me anytime you have any questions, and I'll be sure to get you answers as best as I can. So that's a little bit about me. My background is in event planning. I've worked with the local universities in the community, also digital marketing, all kinds of things on that end. So I have some fun marketing and events type ideas for a lot of businesses when they reach out and want to engage in person with locals through Yelp. But most of the stuff that we're going to talk about today has to do with your digital storefront and how to make sure, using the free business owner tools that some business owners know about, many do not, they can really make their digital storefront look incredible. And it is definitely something you're going to want to be on top of, and we're going to make it easy for you to be on top of it. It won't be a platform that you're going to have to be checking, but I'm going to show you how you can make sure that we let you know when there's something you need to see on Yelp with regards to your business. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Yelp community first. I just want to give you guys an idea. Here in Orlando, I mentioned that I host events with Yelpers, host events with locals. These are our most active, positive, and engaged local users. They are the type of people I'll be describing a little bit more in detail, just so you know who are our average people who are using Yelp. And they are college educated adults who are making purchasing decisions in their households. And when we host local events with businesses, we really try to make something special that folks will be talking about afterwards and really sharing about the business. So that's just one side of what I do. I work a lot with restaurants and entertainment groups and different stakeholders for those events. I will say those events look a little bit different now in the era of COVID. So we are turning things virtual for the time being. And that means we really do have the ability to work with different types of businesses in a way that we've never done before to help promote what they're doing. And again, anything that businesses work on with me is completely free for the business. So that's just one thing. If you ever want to talk to me about ways to engage locals through some fun events or virtual events or whatever that looks like, you can always reach out to me. But everything I'm going to talk about now is really going to be on the site. So here's our agenda. We're going to talk about consumer behavior a little bit, just to give you an idea of why it matters for you guys to be aware of your Yelp pages and what your customers look like on Yelp. Profile completeness, how you can make sure that your profile looks as good as it can possibly look. It is another digital storefront and people are going to it already. How to upload photos and some best practices on that. And then about reviewing and responding to reviews that you receive. There's going to be a lot in there that's not covered right here in this agenda that I'm going to make sure that if you don't leave with 3 great actionable takeaways, then that's a failure on my part. But you'll definitely have takeaways here that will help you when you move forward looking at your business Yelp page and how to really tell the story on your page. So first, let's talk a little bit about consumer behavior. This is the way consumers search for products, services, and experiences. It really changes as the technology evolves. So in the past, it was word of mouth, and now things have really gone on online. And you guys know that because you guys are users when it comes to a lot of different platforms where reviews are really useful and are used in our community. So that's everything from product reviews on Amazon, driver reviews, recipe reviews, movie reviews. This is the new word of mouth, and it is digital, and so we need to be on top of it. Just like that, Yelp is constantly named as the #1 review site in the world, and so you, as business owners, you need to be on top of that. Here's a little information about the consumers and their behavior when it comes to review websites. So 97% of consumers read online reviews for local businesses before they're making purchasing decisions. 85% of consumers trust those online reviews as much as personal recommendations. Now, #1 will always be word of mouth, direct word of mouth. So a friend telling you about a local plumber is going to be #1. But right below that, and really not far from there, comes these online reviews. And then 73% of consumers say positive reviews make them trust a local business more. So these are just some reasons and just a little bit of information to give you an idea of the landscape that's out there right now when it comes to local reviews. Here's a little more information about the type of consumers that are on Yelp specifically. So 67% of our users are over the age of 35. 81% of our users have a college degree or more. And 50% of users earn $100,000 annually or more. So what does this say? This gives you some idea that, like I mentioned before, these are adults with purchasing power who are educated and educate themselves before they make purchasing decisions. So if you're thinking of different types of sites that people are going on to hear about different things, maybe Instagram, which is very useful for marketing, you also need to be really taking into account your Yelp page when it comes to marketing. One of the things that I always get asked is, or people always seem to mention, is is a little bit of a myth, which is that people go on Yelp really to complain about things. The truth is the exact opposite. Nearly 80% of our reviews on Yelp are 3 stars or higher. And in fact, there are more 5-star reviews on Yelp than 1, 2, and 3-star reviews combined. The fact is, and the reality is, people are going on Yelp to share about great experiences. They're wanting to tell your story for you. So if you start looking at Yelp instead as something that is difficult, that as Yelpers, as people who are going on to complain, and you start realizing that Yelpers are really just the consumers that you're interacting with every day, you're going to be able to move forward and really engage them directly from the site. So the first step with Yelp, your business is likely already on Yelp. Your business, your nonprofit, whatever it is likely already on Yelp. You may not need to add it because it's already on there. You may have already seen it, but you definitely should search for it and see what's up there right now. But that's not where it ends. Any user can add a business to Yelp, and they can add a review and add pictures, and they can add your hours if your hours are not on there. If they see your hours on a window, they may add it on there. What we encourage is for all of our business owners to be claiming their business owner page. They can do that on biz.yelp.com, and there's even a business owner app, so it makes it very easy for you guys to control what's on there when it comes to important information like your hours, like your specifications, what you're providing, a history about the business, and responding to reviews, adding your own photos. Everything is on that end that I'm going to talk about here is free to do on Yelp. You just need to claim your business owner page. The reason I also encourage people business owners to claim their business owner page is because you guys have enough platforms that you need to be looking at all the time. So oftentimes you guys have a website, you have a Facebook page, you might have an Instagram page, you might have Yelp, you might be on TripAdvisor, you might be on any number of sites. And to keep track of all of those is very difficult. When you claim your business owner page, we'll reach out to you when someone leaves you a review or adds a photo or makes a business change, like tries to change your hours or anything like that. We'll reach out to you, so you don't need to be checking that page every day. So something like that can really minimize the amount of time that you need to spend focusing just on your Yelp page. What I'm going to go through is just some ways that you can make your Yelp page look really great on the front end, and then wait for these types of things. If you start getting reviews or start getting pictures, then you can respond and you can interact with and engage with those users. So yeah, we have a business owner app. In addition to completing your profile and making your digital storefront look really appetizing and something that people would want to go towards, you can also track engagement. We give you some data and analytics about the type of people who are going to your page, how many people are going on there, and a little bit of information about them. How long are they staying on there? What other pages are they looking at? It also gives you the ability, like I said before, to respond to reviews publicly or privately, which is a huge tool for you guys to definitely have in your arsenal. And the ability to really manage your reputation. Take a look at some other products that you can use on Yelp. Some of them free, the ones I'll talk about are free, but also some paid if you want to help get some marketing. Particularly right now, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about the different COVID-related free business owner tools, but we've added a ton on there. Things that used to be paid on Yelp that are now free during this time to make sure that you guys are able to get important and vital information to your customers. Now, I will reference a few of them, but I'm not going to have them I'm not going to go into them too deep. But once you claim your business owner page, there's going to be a very clear thing that says, this is what we're doing on behalf of business owners when it comes to COVID. Here's how you can take advantage of these tools that in the past may have cost you something. We want to make sure that you're getting to your customers. So right off the bat, the business owners see an average increase of $8,000 in annual revenue generated after claiming their business owner page. That's amazing, right? And that number sounds like a lot. But think about it. We're not just saying claim your page and be passive and you're going to suddenly get $8,000. What that looks like is the folks who claim their page very quickly, within minutes, can add certain things to their business owner page for free that are going to make them look much more appealing in search when it comes to Yelp. And I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks how to show up more in search in Yelp, and what kind of businesses are getting the most clicks, and then also generating the most revenue. So right off the bat, you're going to want to complete your business owner page. Business pages with completed profiles see 4 times more user views and 5 times more customer leads per month. This is something that you're going to be able to track when you've cleaned your business owner page. You're going to be able to track those leads and see how many views you're getting. And that's what we're seeing, businesses that have claimed it versus businesses who haven't. So here are some things to know. This is what it looks like when you go to biz.yelp.com, both on the app and on desktop. We have those both available for you for whatever makes more sense for you as a business owner. Once you've claimed your business owner page, what I'll let you know is if you already have a Yelp page and you haven't claimed it yet, there will be something next to the name that says claim this page if this is yours. You're going to click on that, give a little bit more information. We're going to vet you to make sure no one's accidentally able to claim your business owner page. And within a very short amount of time, that is yours. And now you have access to Yelp for business owners with your page right there and being able to add all these call to actions and all of these things to them. So the claiming part, super simple. Then you've got this great business owner app. I'm going to go through some features that make sense for you guys right off the bat to be thinking about. Business information. So right off the bat, you'll see in that left-hand toolbar under the name of the business that you can update your business information on there. Same with the app. That means your hours, that means your categories. If you're a plumber, you do not want to show up under gardening. You want to make sure all that is correct. Otherwise, Yelpers are going to be going on there and adding that for you. They really do add a lot of information on Yelp, and they do it because they want to help other consumers. And it's really great, but you guys need to make sure that what's on there is actually correct so that when folks are searching for plumbers, you show up, or when folks are searching for printing services, you guys show up in that. That basic information, like I said before, the name of the business, make sure that's correct. If someone added you, it may not be correct. Address, phone number, your website on there, your categories, and your attributes. So there are a lot of things on there that right off the bat in 5 minutes, you can make sure is all accurate. And that's important to find out and to make sure that you're keeping it accurate as your hours change. Particularly in the time of COVID-19, people's businesses' hours are changing and fluctuating sometimes day to day or week by week, particularly when it comes to restaurants and businesses like that where customers are actually engaging in person. So that's something you're going to want to be aware of and keep track of. And there are some banners that we put up anyway on those business owner pages that say during this time, the hours may not be correct, because we know you guys have a million things you're focusing on, and we want to let the customers already know, hey, if this is not right, if the hours are not right, give them a break. We're all dealing with some stuff right now. But I know that this video is going to live on past COVID-19. And so that's why I'm just going to give you guys some really good information moving forward, whether it's now or it's 10 months from now. For your hours, easy to change on there, like I was mentioning. You can also put if you're temporarily closed, permanently closed, special hours for holidays. So you can just update that as you see fit. Further information, a lot of business owners add specialties on there, particularly depending on the type of business you're talking about. You'd want to put some more information in specialties. The history of your business. Have you been around for a long time in Orlando? Have you been serving customers in Orlando for a long time? That's something you're going to want to add in there. Meet the owner. You can add a picture of yourself. Adding that, you'd be surprised how much of a difference that makes when someone can connect it to a real human being who lives in town. So you're going to want to add that. And business recommendations. If you are a handyman or if you are in marketing and signage, you may have some vendors that you work with that you want to recommend on there. And they can also on their page recommend you on there. It's just a small little section, but it's worth noting that you can do that in seconds. So action items when we're done with this call is to go to biz.yelp.com if you haven't already, claim your business owner page, and then make sure your business information is correct. You're looking at the hours, specialty, your history, the meet the owner, and the recommendations. So right off the bat, the quickest way to make sure that everything is accurate on Yelp. Consumers can tend to, not during this time, but regularly, can tend to get pretty frustrated. And I've seen some reviews when the hours are incorrect on the Yelp page, because people are really using that versus going directly to your website. So just make sure that that's correct. Think of your Yelp page as that digital storefront I was mentioning. One of those things to think about is that customers look at businesses on Yelp who complete their page 4 times more than businesses who have not completed their page. Give them a reason to check you out. Part of that has to do with photos. When anyone is searching for anything on Yelp, the businesses that have photos are going to start to show up likely sooner than the ones that don't have photos. More than that, people's eyes are drawn to it. So you may be a business or marketing person for a business that it doesn't make sense having a ton of photos, or you may think it doesn't make sense to have a ton of photos. But in particular, right, for restaurants, that makes sense. You can add things on there. But it's these categories that are actually a little bit less robust on Yelp are the ones where you having a photo on there can make the difference of someone clicking on your page or not clicking on your page. So if you're thinking about legal, right, we've got a law firm. The truth is, when you go to search for it, your eye is drawn to the one that has a photo. And most law firms on Yelp do not have any photos on there. So a quick way to differentiate yourself is to upload those photos. And there's data to back that. So business pages with 10 or more photos see 12 times more customer leads per month. It's just a fact, and it's consumer behavior, and you probably see it when you use Yelp as well. Very, very simple to add photos on Yelp from your business page. It's right there on the left-hand toolbar, and you can upload your photo. The thing is, we need to start thinking outside the box with these photos, particularly since you guys are made up of industries all across the board, from medical to legal to staffing, consultants and nonprofits. So it's not going to look just like what a restaurant page would look like on Yelp. And this is going to give you a chance to differentiate yourself. So think outside the box of just like the food photo on Yelp. These are some different categories that you can be adding photos to your Yelp page. If you're not adding photos and you are a business that it makes sense that people would want to add photos for you, like floral design or something like that, then your customers are going to be adding those photos on there. And they may be terrible quality. They may be dark phone photos. So if you have any logos or professional photography, headshots or anything like that that you can add to your Yelp page, that's going to be really, really useful and going to be a key differentiator for you. Beyond that, it's important to know a couple tricks and tips. Captions on photos will help you show up in search. Think of keywords when you're putting captions for your photos. So if you are staffing services and you put up a photo of your team, that's great. I would caption it, our team. I would also maybe put our team for helping you find a job, using some keywords that people would use in search. These are going to help you show up higher in search and show up at all. They may not be looking for your specific category. They may not be as savvy to know to look for legal services or staffing services. They may just put on there, find a job. So think about those keywords when you're captioning those photos. Another differentiator that most business owners are not aware of, how much that's going to help them in search, both on Yelp and off Yelp. So, right, these captions are helping with the Yelp search, but they're also helping if you search for any business on Google. You're going to see their website, some other things, and you're going to see their Yelp page show up pretty high up in that ranking. When you're looking for jobs, Google is looking at all of these different websites, including Yelp, to look at how often certain keywords are used with reference to your business. So you're going to want to add those keywords as much as you can in your specialties, in your history, and definitely in your photo captions. Then you're going to want to flag any photos that maybe consumers have added that do not represent your business. And those things happen. It might be a blurry photo that no one can see. It might be a photo from a different business and they accidentally added it. So you can just very quickly flag those from your business owner account. And we have moderators that are looking 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and taking down anything that that is not supposed to be on there. And then updating any photos that you have added. If you've renovated, if you have a new team and you want to add a new photo and take that down, you can always take that down as well. So I wanted to give you an idea of what a business page looks like where the business owner has not added any photos to Yelp, has not added anything to Yelp versus just, oh, and they have 0 reviews. And then we want to look at what that looks like with them adding this information to Yelp. Still no reviews, but let's see how robust that looks in comparison. So here we've got an example with photos, with business information, with the specialties, making sure the website is on there, making sure the categories are on there. So simply doing that makes it look like a much more appealing page than what we saw before. You don't have to have reviews at the moment to be able to be showing up in search and have a pretty great business owner dashboard here. And last, but definitely not least, on the Yelp business owner side, I would definitely mention that we have review badges. And that means we're giving you guys the HTML to add these to your website. So a lot of times businesses will add this to their website, a little Yelp button or something like that. Oftentimes consumers, sometimes they are clicking on those. Great. If you have great reviews, I would use the one that shows the star rating. If you don't have any reviews, that's okay. Just the fact that you put a link to your Yelp page in a very prominent place on your website tells consumers that you're not afraid for them to look at what you've done in the past. A lot of times they are not even clicking through on those, but just seeing that means that you stand proud of what you've done in the past. So I would recommend using those. Those are completely free for you guys to use, and they come in different forms that have star ratings or are just the Yelp logo that they can click through or whatever it is. Just want to go through responding to reviews on Yelp. So there are a lot of different philosophies on this. But I will say that 53% of consumers expect to receive a review response, and businesses that respond see a 10% upgrade in star rating on Yelp. So why is that? It's because consumers are going on Yelp sometimes to tell your story for you, to say tell about a great experience they've had, and just getting a little note from you back, giving them some love for giving you love, will make a huge difference, will make them a customer for life. But also, if they've had a negative experience, you can really impact that experience by the way that you respond to the reviews. So if you get some critical reviews, you want to think about when it makes sense to reply publicly and when it makes sense to reply privately. Either way, I'll let you know, there are no private messages on the internet at all. People can take screenshots of anything you write back to them. Even if you think it's a direct message, it must be private, and they can upload that photo to Yelp or to Facebook or to anything else. So I would never consider any of these communications truly private, which means you just want to put your best face forward either way. But there are some tips and tricks on how to respond when it's a legitimate concern. So something that happened, maybe they came into your business, it was the air conditioner broke, and it's blazing hot, and they leave a review and it's a low star review because they were sweating the whole time and they had a terrible experience. That's the time we're going to want to do a public comment. You're going to want to acknowledge that review if it's legitimate and give them some idea of the fact that you're working on it or that you've heard them and you're thankful for that feedback. Sometimes it's an inaccurate review. It's a critical review that's inaccurate. Not a lot, right? So again, 80% of our reviews on Yelp are positive, but there are some people who go on anywhere on the internet and might write something that's totally inaccurate about you that doesn't make sense. So one, I would always flag a review if you don't think it's for your business. If they mention, I used to work here or something like that, I would always flag it. Just let our moderators take a look at it and see if it's something that may not make sense to be on there, if it violates our terms of services. But most of the times it's going to stay on there, right? We don't take sides in in he said, she said type disputes. We don't. We leave it on there. There's a reason why we put the average review at the top of your profile, because there are going to be little aberrations. But if it is an inaccurate critical review, that also warrants a public comment. And that's not just because you want them to hear what you're saying, but you want anyone who goes to your Yelp page to know, hey, we actually don't serve fries. So when you mention we have soggy fries, I have to say that's not for our business. That's just an example. And then lastly, if you get someone going on who is just going on to rant, again, not super common on Yelp, but sometimes those voices are the loudest and those are the ones that we think of the most. So that in that case, if there's nothing that you can add to it, if it's someone who is saying all kinds of wild stuff on there, that might make sense for a direct message or no message at all. But a public comment, if you are going to make one, make sure that you are not that you are presenting your best face forward, because you have an opportunity there. You're no longer trying to reach that person. They're going on to rant about your business in a really negative, ugly, whatever way. You're no longer trying to reach them. To think about the other consumers who are going to look at these reviews. And sometimes when they're outrageous reviews, you have to think that your consumers are savvy and they'll see that, and it doesn't necessarily warrant a public review. It may not even warrant a private message. But this is the problem that we often find, is that business owners are only responding to their negative reviews. So quick tip and trick, you should be responding to your positive reviews as well, if not more. One, it leads the eye to those reviews. So if you're only responding to your negative reviews, folks who are going on your page are going to be more likely to see those negative reviews because there's a response under it. It's different to the eye, so they're going to be drawn to it. But also for positive reviews, these people have come and taken their time to write you a great review, and it makes sense to give them a little bit of love back, just a quick thank you. If you know them by name, thank you so much, Sandra. It means so much. We love working with you. It was a great project. So if you have something to add, you want to make that a public comment for sure. If someone's talking about, oh, I had this great drink, and you say, great, we even have that on happy hour from Mondays and Fridays. Thank you so much for telling me this. You're going to want to make that a public comment. That helps tell people some more information. If you have nothing to add, direct message or public comment, giving them some love, it's always the best thing to do. Timely responses. So consumers are 33% more likely to upgrade their negative review when a business owner or manager responds within 24 hours. So I already let you guys know, we don't expect you guys to be checking Yelp multiple times a day. And responding within 24 hours seems like a difficult thing if you're not checking your Yelp page every day. We're gonna email you when you get a review. And so you're gonna see right there in that email, is this something I need to address right now? So you're not gonna have to always have Yelp open that way. But if it is, you're gonna wanna respond within 24 hours. So before I go into what it looks like to respond like a pro and actually potentially change that star rating, I do wanna say, whatever you do, if it is a critical review, I would take a few hours before you respond. Maybe even show that response to somebody else on your team, and make sure that you're not responding from an emotional place. With that being said, if you get a critical review or a positive review, you can respond like a pro. So I just took a business here in Orlando, Rogue Pub. They respond to their positive reviews that you'll see on the left-hand side of the screen. Thank you so much. We're glad you had a good time, blah, blah, blah. They made a customer for life just by acknowledging this person. But then they also respond to their reviews that are not as positive, right? A 3-star is still a-okay, but it's not an overwhelmingly positive review. And this is one of those cases where things got really, really hot and they had some issues. The way this business owner responds gives the consumer another touch point with that business. So when they have the opportunity then to go and update their review, their star rating, because they have had another interaction with the business. So think about those interactions and think about how can I best set myself up to either change this person's mind, that they'll change the star rating now because they had a great experience with me right on the internet, or two, they might give me another shot. maybe we made a mistake, whatever that is. So here you'll see the business owner responded really well. Thanks for the review, acknowledging it, thanking them for taking the time, mentioning, hey, we fixed the AC, it's not a big deal. Thanks for your patience, we look forward to seeing you again. Quick, to the point, this is how you respond like a pro, and people very often do change their review that way. So quick action item, just takeaway to think about when you do get reviews is take a minute, breathe, maybe talk to someone else, take the high road always. This is going to affect whether consumers are going to want to go to you. If they see that you are responding to negative reviews, blasting that reviewer, they are not going to want to go to your business. And then take comfort in knowing that we cannot please 100% of the people 100% of the time. And that's why we have review averages on Yelp. So just to give you an idea of that, the Eiffel Tower is reviewable on Yelp. Who would ever review the Eiffel Tower as 1 star? If you go to the Eiffel Tower, you will see that there are some 1-star reviews for the Eiffel Tower. There are thousands of 5-star reviews, and so what matters is that average. So just take some comfort in knowing that even the best restaurants in the world or the best businesses in or locations in the world have some haters. It happens. When you're thinking about these reviews, I want you to think about, how can I get more people adding positive reviews on my page? And I want you to be strategic about that. The first thing to say is, on Yelp, we highly discourage straight up asking for reviews. Why? Because it feels a little bit uncomfortable for those customers. So we really, really discourage that. It's better to just remind someone you're on Yelp. So on this call, we have most folks are not in the restaurant business, which means a lot of people forget that they can leave you a review on Yelp. But when people are looking for your services, they're often going to Yelp to look for that. So it's just reminding them that you are reviewable on Yelp. Hey, check us out on Yelp. If you're sending an email to a customer after you've provided great service, saying thanks so much for being a great customer, we can't wait to serve you again, add on there, did you have a great time? Did you know we're on Yelp? And add a little link. So whenever I have businesses who come to me who have a small number of reviews and have one review that is dragging them down, dragging their average down a lot, I ask them, how many customers do you have that love you, that sing your praises, but haven't left you a review yet on Yelp? Think about how we can remind them that you're on Yelp. A lot of businesses will have next to their register, whatever it is, they have their social media handles, and they'll also have their Yelp. It's just to remind people you can share about this on Yelp. For your businesses, that may be more in your email signature or something like that, or adding that to your process after you've already had a customer experience. So think about that. Think about that when you're, rather than focusing just on maybe a negative review, take comfort in knowing everybody gets negative reviews sometimes. Everybody overwhelmingly gets positive reviews. Focus on those positive reviews and how you can garner more of those in a way that's legitimate. The last thing I'll add is make sure that you're never telling a customer, if you leave us a review, we'll give you something. That on our end, on the Yelp side, is way too close to paying for reviews. It's a really, really fine line. And that can end up with your page having a little sign on it for a certain amount of time that says, hey, something fishy is going on here. We're seeing that they're incentivizing people to write them 5-star reviews. Just be aware. Now, don't worry. If your language isn't perfect and we notice something like this, we're not going to throw that up on your page, but we are going to reach out to you and say, hey, just so you know, we don't do that. You're not supposed to incentivize that way. So just some tips and tricks. I'm almost done here, so don't worry. We're going to have plenty of time for Q&A. Quick summary. Complete your business owner page. Here's some information you're going to want to add to that at the bottom. We've already talked through all of those. Number 2, upload photos. Think about the way you're captioning them. Think about how you can show up on search better. Responding to reviews. Think about whether you're going to be responding in a public way or in a direct message. We don't even say private anymore. We say direct message because, again, nothing is private. And think about taking a pause before you do it, and maybe checking with someone else that your messaging is the kind that you would want new customers to see. More than anything, I want you guys to know I'm local. I live in Orlando. This is my full-time job, is working with business owners and hosting events and getting the word out about fun things happening in Orlando. And you can always reach out to me. So the first page I gave you gave Andi@yelp.com. Orlando@yelp.com also comes directly to me. So if you forget my name, there's no problem. Just email me at orlando@yelp.com. I'm here to help if I can, or to lead you to someone who can help you. You can also always reach out to bizoutreach@yelp.com. That is a national email, so they will get back to you for sure. But if for some reason you'd rather reach out to headquarters, you can do it that way. We have a bunch of other ways. You can tweet at Yelp for businesses, for business. We always respond to those. And then I would definitely say to keep a lookout sometimes on the Yelp blog. So yelpblog.com has a whole section for business owners with tons of tips and tricks for different industries. And so I would take a look at that too. We will be, when we send you that email just saying, hey, 20 people looked at your page today, 1 person left a review, whatever that is, we'll also sometimes link to a blog post that might be useful for you. So now that I've done that, I may stop sharing my screen and give you guys a chance to ask some questions. I know Andrew has probably been collecting a few in the comment section. Let me go ahead and do that.
So here's a couple that we had on here, Don, and I'm going to kind of combine your two. She said that she was making her profile now, but she has 2 locations. And then she added down below, she said, I found one of them is claimed, but not sure by who. How do I find out, or what should she do on that sense? So I did see a place on the site that you can add a second location or multiple locations.
Absolutely. That's a great question. And that happens a lot with businesses that a marketing manager may have left. Maybe someone did claim the page at some point and they no longer work there. So no worries, we deal with that all the time. One thing that I didn't point you guys to that you should always have bookmarked in case you ever have any questions. You can obviously reach out to me, but also Yelp-support.com is our support page where you can type in questions and we have tons of answers and resources for you. In fact, if you want, I can just show you. I'm gonna just share my screen really quickly. Let's see here. Because I want to show you what that looks like. Share. You're probably seeing you're probably seeing a massive screen because I am using a massive screen. But this is the support center. It's Yelp-support.com, and you can type in your questions right here, and some of them will already be on the side. So Yelp for Biz will be on the side. But here's where you can type in those questions. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that really quickly. Let me get off of that now. Let me address your question. Yes, you're seeing that your page is already claimed. You don't have access to it. You don't have the login. That's super simple. Through biz.yelp.com, you can type in that you're having that issue, and it'll come up with a form and tell you exactly how we can resolve that for you. If you have any trouble finding that, so if you have trouble on biz.yelp.com finding that, you're welcome to reach out to me and I can send you that information directly. So Andi@yelp.com, ANDI@yelp.com, or Orlando@yelp.com. But it's a quick fix. It's just it happens all the time.
All right. So Trevor asked a question. I'm going to kind of read through it here. I've read it a couple times, but you mentioned that Google searches and indexing. Google has Google My Business. Does Yelp have an alliance with Google so Yelp businesses are found before or after Google business searches? Why would a business owner duplicate the same type of information that's already on Google? Could that information be linked to Yelp? So that's kind of a big question there, and we'll go from that.
Yeah, it's a great question. So Google used to use some of our Yelp information, so those were the same across the board. They're not anymore, and they unfortunately are not linked. So you are going to want to make sure that your Google Biz page is robust, and that your Yelp page is robust. Those do not communicate within each other or between each other. What I will say is that Google uses Yelp just like any other website to help determine where things show up in search. The more times your business is mentioned, the more times certain keywords on any website is going to help that page go up. But yeah, I would say that just like Yelp, you would have the same thing for Google. I don't think they have anyone locally, but they probably have something similar in terms of they'll email you if there are any changes or whatever it is. I would see those as two separate things, but Google, of course, incorporates everything. Facebook, anything can show up in Google searches. So when I mentioned that that you can caption your photos and those will help you in Yelp search, and they can also probably help in Google search, that just happens with any website. And so it's not through a partnership with Google in any way.
So another question back to the duplicate business. If you find one, or let's say you set up a profile and then you find a duplicate business, can you merge those into one profile?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can merge that as a customer or a business owner. And by merge that, I mean request for them to be merged. So we have a team that will be looking at all requested business edits done from consumers. So if you see that there are two pages that are the same, you would go to the page. I'm just going to one now just so that I can take a look at it and make sure I'm giving you the accurate information. You'll go to edit, like to edit their hours or their website or whatever. And again, anyone can do that. So if right now you go to a Yelp page, you'll see that you can add information on there, and you can put in to make edits. Doesn't mean those edits show up because we do have to confirm those edits. But you can make edits to a business, and you would do the same thing. And there's a section right there that says, "Is this a duplicate business?" You'll click that, and you'll just add notes and say, "This is a duplicate of this business right here." We'll have moderators to look at it, and if it is in fact a duplicate, those will be merged, and it happens every single day. Yeah, and that usually happens because you've added your business, and at the same time, a consumer has added your business. And so they are two separate pages, and we can just get those merged. Again, if you have any problems with that, I'm local. I'm here to help you and to guide you. So reach out to me, and I can provide you with a step-by-step of what that looks like.
So Timothy has asked here, why do I need a profile photo showing my face in order to respond to reviews? Why can't I just use my company logo?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are a couple different reasons for that, but one of the big ones is that we want the customers to be connected to the person. And then also some business owners, sometimes things are put up there that are less than friendly on there. So we want them to be the face of the business owner, or include the face of the business owner. A lot of times there are certain things to get around that, and you can reach out to me personally about that specific question, and I can take a look at it and see if there are any workarounds for that. But yeah, that is one of the things on there that is required. We try to make it, the point of it is that customers are connected with the business and connected with the business owner, and that's one of the ways we do it.
So here's one that I kind of jotted in, but are there marketing tools or things that I can download? So like if I wanted to put like a sticker or something on my window, my storefront, or you talked about the online pieces, but are there places and things that I can use in a business that says that like us on Yelp or leave us a review on Yelp? Are there marketing tools or things that I can do or send to a printer or things like that?
Yeah, so when you're on Yelp and you're getting good reviews on Yelp, every year or so, we'll send out some Find Us on Yelp stickers, and I would definitely use that verbiage when you're making anything, is more Find Us on Yelp versus Review Us on Yelp. But in addition to that, we have a page that has that you can find on that business owner page or on the support page. You can look for Yelp logos, and we have Yelp logos, and you can create something and put it anywhere you'd like it to be. But in terms of requesting for stickers, I don't think at the moment we have something that you can request for stickers. We send those out periodically, but you're welcome to make your own collateral, go to a print services and do that. And we do have the logos on there for you to use. And we have some information about how to use those logos in a way that makes sense for our branding as well.
Okay. And I know you and I talked about this a little bit, but maybe the importance, we talked a little bit about the maps on the different phone platforms. Is that still true with what is used with that? So this is another reason to have Yelp connected to your business?
Yeah, so one of the most popular phones in the world is obviously the iPhone. Apple Maps uses Yelp data, and Yelp uses Apple Maps data. And you'll see the logos on either page. You'll see it on the Yelp page. When you go to the Maps section, you'll see an Apple logo. You'll see the alternate. So when you're searching for anything on Apple Maps, a business, the information that comes up, the phone number, the website, the hours, and everything is directly pulled through a partnership with Yelp. In addition to that, people can click through and see your reviews on there. So when you're thinking about, there are a lot of pages for me to be aware of, where my hours are and everything like that, there's a reason to make sure that Yelp is one of those pages that you're keeping track of. And it is because it is used on one of the most widely used phones in the world.
Okay, and then another question came in. It said, how about links for emails or social media posts? I'm assuming, is that for the marketing pieces? I know you showed a page or a screenshot of the different embedded pieces that you can use for, Trevor just put in there for reviews. How about links or media, social media posts for reviews?
Do you mean, and I just, to get clarification, do you mean like asking for reviews, or do you mean highlighting reviews?
Trevor, if you want to jump in and type something in on that so we can follow up for you.
Yes, I was actually asking.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yes, I was asking, could you get a link to ask for reviews that you could either use on your social media posts or your emails?
Yeah, so what I recommend for a lot of businesses to do is to do posts periodically that highlight a great review that they had. And then it's different on Facebook versus Instagram, but on Instagram you can do link in bio. So check us out on Yelp, check our link in bio. I would recommend, obviously you can only have one link in your bio, but then you can use services like Linktree, for example, where the link in bio takes them to a page that has multiple links that you want them to look at. And one of those could be your Yelp page. So then you can, no matter what post you do, you can always put, find us on Yelp, check the link in bio. So that's one way to do it. On Facebook, if you're doing any kind of a post, you can just directly add the link to that post, or add the link to your Yelp page to your bio when it comes to Facebook or anything like that, if you want to be doing that. We don't have like direct embedding on Instagram. I don't think that there's anything like that with any platform, but a lot of businesses do that, is they use Linktree, and it gives them the ability in that link in bio to have multiple links, and one of those would be the Yelp page. I'm not sure if I answered your question. Please let me know if I missed it.
All right, I'm seeing a lot of thank yous, and I think some folks are getting on to some other calls. If there's no other questions, if anybody wants to type any other questions in, we'll take one, maybe two more. And while we're waiting on any of those coming in, Andi, we can find you at Andi, A-N-D-I, at yelp.com, correct?
Yes, and if you forget my name, Orlando at yelp.com comes to me, and I'll get back to you in a timely manner. I'm very good about that, and I'll lead you in the right direction. If I can't answer your question directly, I'll get you connected to the right person. But pretty much on anything on the free business owner side, I'll be able to help you with that. In addition, if you're interested in Yelp advertising or anything like that, I can connect you to someone, but I won't be able to speak to that. And then if you want to do anything locally on the community side, that would be the way to reach me as well.
And then you did talk about events. Those are for like your top Yelp users or get the most reviews and things like that. Is that the only way to get invited to those, or are there other ways that people can get invited or find out about those Yelp events if they want to attend?
Yeah, so we use a bunch of different platforms. Some of our events are just for our most active users, and they are directly invited through a private calendar. But then most of our reviews are open to anyone. And so we have Yelp Orlando on Instagram. Definitely give us a follow. You'll find out about any of those events and get an idea of ways that we engage with businesses. We do business owner spotlights and some other fun things on there. Nothing on there is paid in terms of business interaction, so no problem there. But we use Instagram, Facebook, all of these to be able to promote things that we've got going on. Obviously, on the Yelp page, we highlight the events up at the top of the Yelp events page when we do have an upcoming event, and anyone can RSVP to them. Many of them are 21 and up because they are focused on engaging adults, but we do have some kid events as well. So yeah, reach out to me, engage with us on Instagram is primarily the social media that we're using, platform we're using in addition to Yelp itself.
Great. Well, I think that ends most of our questions and everything from there. So Andy, thank you so much for being and spending some time with us this afternoon and answering some questions from our members and providing some great information today. So if you need any more, you can find Andy again at andy@yelp.com. You can reach out to any of us at the chamber, Dorothy or myself, and we can get you connected if you can't remember that. And we have it recorded, so we will have that posted so you can rehash anything that's there. So Andy, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate you taking some time and showing what there is and the importance of another platform to get your name and information out for your company. So I appreciate everybody and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.